Hello.
We did that together.
That was good. All right, here we are again.
Yes. So think back to the first time you saw us on our YouTube channel. We were looking at guiding questions.
First one was, what helps us choose acceptance more often?
And what was the second one? Oh, I'm saying it? Okay. What are the benefits and the limits to choosing acceptance?
Those were our questions. So, in order to try to answer these questions, we decided to chat with educators, librarians, and writers using play as a way to access the challenging topics that we anticipated would arise.
And they did arise. Mm-hmm. However, we also had a jolly good time along the way.
Okay. All right.
Oh, man.
Aha.
Play because
yeah. No.
So at the end of the experiment, we observed 3 themes connecting play and acceptance.
First of all, we noticed a recurring observation that adults don't seem to play.
I think I compare it to drawing for fun. Sean Tan has that great line about when anyone asks him, when did you start drawing? His answer is, when did you stop? It's the same with play. When did you pick up playing again? Well, when did you stop? If someone plays continually, they're going to have those muscles stronger than someone who doesn't, and so you just have to build up those muscles.
As we get older, though, it's no coincidence that we play less and we don't get along very well either. There's the other side of it too. People who do play or who are creative kind of have the opportunity to build community around like their love of play, their love of creativity, and it can be a positive force. It's just sometimes as adults we let other forces kind of overwhelm that. It's kind of a sad thing. Like we remove the play part of play and the fun part of it, and it becomes serious like everything else we do in our lives.
Secondly, there seemed to be an agreement that play is a gateway into choosing acceptance more often. Which we agree with.
We certainly agree with that. And so did the people we talked
to. To accept other people, you have to empathize with them and get out of your own experience for a little bit. You can come back to your experience in that relationship, but you have to get outside of it a little and think about where they're coming from. And in my definition of play, that's pretty much what you're doing. You're getting out of your sort of rigid step-by-step world, and you're getting into something that allows you to meet the unexpected fully and being present to it. And so when you're in that state of mind, that's when you're most likely to be able to take in something that's different from you.
I think there's a connection between playing with people and getting to understand more of their ideas and their beliefs. So I definitely think it helps build bonds between people. I also think it may be that, play might just make your mind just a little bit more elastic and a little bit more open to new ideas, especially if you play different things. If you stick with the same game or same activity all the time, maybe not. But if you're willing to try new activities, it may also help your brain decide to be able to try new thoughts and new ideas.
Okay. Thirdly, many of the people we talked to acknowledged that acceptance was a powerful path towards a more peaceful shared existence in every way that could be.
And we've found that in our own lives, right?
Absolutely.
When we've been sillier or lighter.
And I think most people, if they give it just a little bit of thought, they realize that this is the foundation for any kind of collaboration or discussion, especially on challenging topics, is
silly first, serious later.
Fulfilling needs, fulfilling the senses, relaxing the people, and then you move on to the thing that you need to do. But it can't happen if people are hungry or sad.
Or feel unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
Come in, and sometimes unsafe spaces are called safe or called accepting when they're not.
Yep.
And I think diversity of thought is sometimes used, or like we can agree to disagree, is sometimes used to reinforce an imbalance of power, where not every child or every person playing can really be there and be present, because they're carrying all these other stresses and defenses that they have to get by. I think that play can be a shared experience that can serve as the beginning of a bond, wherein people that might be, less in agreement than others can start to come together. And
I do not have to understand who I'm playing with. And I actually think engaging in wordplay and silliness and all that helps me understand people better. In a lot of ways, I do have to agree with them. And the reason why is that once people bring up racist, misogynistic, homophobic garbage into their conversation as if it is normal and nice and perfectly fine, I'm out. In that way, I do have to have a certain kind of, there has to be some sort of an understanding between us that all human beings, have the right to exist without your stupid judgment. Mm-hmm. Right? That's got to be a sort of a baseline. Other than that, I'm pretty good.
So that was what we learned from our questions about play and acceptance. And I learned a whole bunch. How about you?
Yeah, one of the things I learned that I totally appreciate is you learn better through laughing. You learn more deeply through laughing. You remember more through laughing. So mixing silly and serious is really an important thing to do. And in fact, I will go out on a limb and say that I hope schools from kindergarten, where they still play, I hope, through college will incorporate more play into their curriculum.
These aren't the only topics that were raised in our talks with our guests, and I encourage you that if any of these clips interested you and you haven't seen the other ones yet, please go back and take a look, because a lot of wonderful things were talked about.
Yes, and we would love for you to post comments if you have questions or you just want to enlighten us, because God knows we need all the help we can get.
And the friends and colleagues that we talked to were so generous and forthcoming and so honest and genuine, and they put up with our games, which isn't a small thing. Yep. Yeah.
Which brings us to our next experiment.
Speaking of suffering.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately. We have looked at the light side of choosing acceptance, and now we're going to go to the less light side.
The dark side.
So to speak.
Watch out for Darth Vader.
Okay.
He might be visiting. You never know.
Don't anticipate that at all. We're going to move on to exploring things that we wonder will hurt acceptance or hinder choosing acceptance, and that is fear. Dun, dun, dun. We are going to call upon more of our wonderful friends and colleagues, and we're going to be asking them questions about fear, but once again...
Oh God, this game, what she's come up with, is already scaring the poop out of me.
It's not that scary.
It won't be scary for you.
No, it won't.
It won't. It'll be scary for us.
We encourage you to join us with our next set of explorations, in this time into fear and acceptance. Until then, thank you for giving us a whirl, and as always,
choose acceptance. Subscribe. Take a ride with us.
To say that you tolerate someone is just saying that you acknowledge their existence, but you don't have to be okay with it. And I think that's a really myopic way of approaching things. It's really short-sighted, especially when you think about, no human being deserves to just be tolerated. That's almost insulting. So when someone's existence is accepted, and it's acknowledged to be a true thing that we can say, oh, well, yeah, this is just how life is. It's another facet of life. Then it dignifies that person.
Here's what you do. You look for the most vulnerable character. Look for the most vulnerable character in the book or movie or play or television show. Look at their identity. And then, and this is what I tell my students, write down all of the things you know or think you know, including all of the horrible stereotypes that you hold in your head that you know you should not think about. And write them on a piece of paper. Okay? This is important. You gotta get it out of your head. And every time you run into one of those things, that's a pink flag that's going up. Because every time that book reifies those stereotypes, right, and those tropes that we all know whether or not we hate them, love them, believe them, or don't, but we all know them. That is a concern.
It's just do it.
I love
Do
that.
it.
Do it.
Do it.